So you may have seen in the news recently that the National Association of Realtors settled a lawsuit that was brought up in both, I believe, Missouri and Illinois for roughly $418 million. And that's a pretty big number. And if you're thinking of buying or selling in the near future, you might be wondering, what does that mean for me? So I thought we'd shed a little light on that situation today, and I guess I'll give this disclaimer as well. I am not an attorney, so do not take this as legal advice. But here's what's happening. So in our present world, we have what's called a multiple listing service. So we have the Northeast Florida multiple listing service where a realtor can contract with a seller to sell their home, and there's a written agreement, and in that agreement, there's a commission amount. You'll see behind me that I have demonstrated the listing agent would take the total commission amount and offer a portion of that to all potential buyer's agents who might have a buyer in that MLS. And the way that it works is typically, in our current form, the buyer does not pay the commission because it's already been negotiated between the listing agent and the seller, and the listing agent has determined what portion of the commission will be offered out to buyer's agents in the scenario that they have a buyer. So, for various number of reasons, the court systems did not like the way that that setup functions, and they've come up with a few changes that are included in the settlement agreement. And it's a 105-page document, so we can't possibly dive into all of the things that are mentioned in that document, but I'll hit the highlights. And really, there's two. So the first of which is that listing agents working with a seller, real estate agent, can no longer advertise in the MLS in any way, shape, or form the amount of the commission that's going to be paid to a buyer's agent if they bring a buyer. It does not mean that the listing agent can't pay or that the seller can't pay a buyer's agent. It's just that they can't communicate the amount of the commission through the MLS. That's number one. Number two, that's sort of a big change logistically in buying a house, is that the settlement maintains that all Association of Realtors and MLSs should enforce the fact that a buyer's agent working with a buyer have a written buyer brokerage agreement prior to showing houses. And that's actually, from my perspective, a good thing. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means if you're a seller, the way that things go in terms of commissions being communicated to buyer's agents is going to change. Does it mean that you don't have to pay a buyer's agent commission? Sure. But you never had to pay a buyer's agent commission. That could have been your choice all along the way. The goal for you as a seller is typically to get the most money in the best possible time frame. And the way that the system works presently, it seems to be accomplishing that. We're at all-time highs still for pricing in real estate in Northeast Florida and across the country. So do you have to pay a buyer's agent? No. But could it be in your best interest to pay a buyer's agent? Absolutely. So that's one thing to think about. And then as a buyer, you've always had the option to use an agent or not use an agent. We won't talk about all of the many values and benefits that a buyer's agent delivers to you as a buyer in this video. We can talk about that another time. But point being, if you're going to use a buyer's agent services, now it has to be in writing prior to taking a look at homes. So that's the two primary things that you can see being changed in the near future and coming down from that settlement. And these will be midsummer that all of this takes place here in 2024. If you've got any questions about that, by all means, feel free to reach out. You can shoot me an email, jeff@pursuitrealestate.com, or give me a call, 904-405-1995, and I'll look forward to catching up. Take care.